Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Kathy at Attic Treasures, etc. And if you saw my last video, you might have heard me, if you stayed till the end, you might have heard me mention something called a lady board. Well, I'm here to demonstrate how to make a lady board. And if you are intimidated, like a lot of us, can be intimidated by making a master board because it just seems so big. So all a lady board is a smaller version, smaller, simpler, thinner version of a master board, and they're just called lady boards because they're just a little bit more delicate. So with that in mind, what I've done, here's a couple of examples of two lady boards that I did yesterday. And basically what they are is just taking a book page, and in this case I'm using book pages from a Reader's Digest condensed book, and we're just collaging on it whatever we want, just something thin and just simple, like napkins and maybe some music, doing some stamping, maybe some collage paper, things like that. And what I'm doing is this is a collaboration put on by Charlene at Grand Central Crafting Facebook group, and I'm here to show you basically how to make a lady board. So oh, the other thing that I wanted to mention is by keeping them small and thin like this, they're super easy to send in the mail as happy mail. So they don't take up much room and they don't weigh very much. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to set those two aside for now. And I'm going to take, we'll start with one. And like I said, this is just a page from a Reader's Digest condensed book. And I also have my binder here. This is one of my 3 binders of scraps, and in this one I have book pages and just different things. You know, it's not really scrapbook paper, they're book pages mostly. So I'm going to grab some map pieces, and I'm going to stay away from, you know, text because there's already text on the page. And you can let that be part of your master board or lady board. Let's take out some music page. That's always fun. And let's do a few. I've got quite a number of pieces of music page. And let's see, what else? Okay, so let's start with those, and then additionally I also have my little tray or basket of napkin scraps, and I've also got some stamps just from, you know, they're not vintage or anything, but they are current postage stamps that have been canceled, and we can put a couple of these on as well. So let me get another page, that one that isn't as torn. There we go. Just take one. So I'm going to set these over here, and then I also have some clear stamps that we can use as well. Okay, so I think what I'd like to do first is to just put some stamps, postage stamps on, and I am just using some watered down Mod Podge. Okay, I'm going to make sure that I'm still in frame here. There we go. So just watered down Mod Podge and my collage medium brush. And you don't have to, if you don't want to, you don't have to ink anything up, or, you know, it's just something that's super quick, super easy, and like I was saying, can be swapped out in Happy Mail or just, you know, just anything. I have some more ideas on how to use it when we're finished here. So in the last one that I made yesterday, I actually put the stamps on top of everything, the postage stamps, but on this one I thought I would put them on the underneath everything. So let's start laying on some napkin and collage paper. This is a great way, by the way, to use up scraps. It doesn't matter if you cover up part of the postage stamp. That's totally fine, or you can leave them whole. It doesn't really matter. And I am just adding pieces as I pull them out of my little basket here. Not really thinking too much about where it's going to go or what it's going to end up looking like. You do want to make sure that the edges are all glued down though. One thing that's really nice about a project like this is on a day when you don't necessarily feel very creative, but you know you want to do something, you can come into your craft room and just grab a book page and a bunch of scraps, and even if you only make one, you've created something that you can use as it is, or something that you can take and use later. In different ways. But the important thing is that you did some creating, even if it's just for a few minutes. And I think you'll find that they're pretty addicting. Got a little too much glue there. And it's best when you're using Mod Podge or Collage Medium that you have a soft brush like the one I'm using here. That way it doesn't tear what you're working on. And if it does tear like it did here a little bit, that's okay. Like this part here wants to tear. I just slipped it off. It's all right. Okay, I'm going to call this one ready to dry. So I'm going to dry it and then I will be right back. Okay, so I've dried it and I have trimmed the edges. And you might think, okay, I'm done with this and I could just set it aside and maybe work on it later, maybe scan it into your computer or whatever. Why don't we go ahead and take it to the next level though? I have one of these Tim Holtz stencils and I just got a new ink pad, Distress Oxide in Chipped Sapphire. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a try. And I'm using a domed, what do you call these things, blending foam. And let's see, let me just put some over here in this section. And then maybe some some down here as well. With a domed foam blender, or blending foam, I always get it mixed up. It gets the ink down into the stencil a little bit better than a flat foam. Okay, there's a little bit there, and if we want to, we can even put a little bit over here. We can do anything we want. We're Bob Ross today. We're going to be Bob Ross. We're just going to do whatever we want. Okay, so far so good. Set that aside for a moment. Now I have some stamps that I thought I would add, and I have, let's see, I've got a couple of, let's do the flourishes. I've got this flourish stamp. It's a Bow Bunny stamp, and I think it's called Fanciful Flourishes. And I will leave a link to this stamp below. It's a set. It comes with 3 stamps, I think. And I'm just going to use some StazOn ink. And the reason I'm using StazOn is because it won't smear even if I get it wet. I'm just doing black. Trying to stay in frame. My workspace is getting inundated. Put that over there. There we go. Let's see. Oops. Okay, and then maybe even a little butterfly. And I like this one. This is like a postage stamp type thing. Okay, I'm going to call this one done. So I'm going to set this one aside for now, and I think I have time to do one more. So just grab another book page. And my glue, let's trade places with the stamps. And on this one, I think I'll use some of this map. I can open it up. I'll put it down here in the corner. So how many of you out there, little off topic, but how many of you out there have an Instant Pot? Well, I have one. I actually have 3. I have one in the motorhome and 2 in the house. The one in the motorhome and one of the ones in the house are 6-quart, and then we also have a 3-quart. And sometimes, believe it or not, I will have all 3 going at the same time. I'll bring in the one from the motorhome. But the reason I'm asking about it is, you know, even when you put something in the Instant Pot for dinner, very often there's, I mean, obviously there's going to be a wait time while dinner's cooking or whatever it is you're doing. And that is the perfect time to escape into your craft room and do a little, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 little lady boards. Let's get this down there. And I really think that you're going to find that these are super addicting because you accomplish something really fast. And especially when we're in a little bit of a creative slump, I know that that happens to all of us. It's really nice just to be able to feel like you've done something. And very often, just doing something will spark your creativity in a new way. Last year, my husband and I visited we went to the Van Gogh exhibition, and it was like an interactive type exhibition of a lot of his works, and it was fabulous. And one thing really, really struck me. They had a lot of his quotes up on the walls and things to read, and one of them, he said, when you hear a voice inside you saying, do not paint, then by all means paint, and that voice will be silenced. And I thought, oh, that is such good motivation. So perfect. So this is one of those things that even if you don't feel particularly motivated to do something big, or maybe when you're making a junk journal, and just even a tag, sometimes I can spend hours just trying to think of what to put on a tag. You know, all these decisions that you make just one after the other. It's like, oh, this will work, that, I don't really like it. And, you know, maybe you keep trying different things and nothing seems to be coming together. Believe me, I have had plenty of days like that. So just doing something like this, it is so therapeutic, I promise you. Because you don't really have to think. Look at me, I'm just not even thinking. Just putting something down, and then later on you can use it in many different ways. You know, maybe you needed a background for a tag and you just weren't really sure where to start. Well, you can pull out one of your lady boards that you have stashed away, you made, and then voila, you have the basic background for a tag or a pocket or a collage on a page. Or maybe you have a crafting friend that is in a slump or not feeling well, or maybe they, you know, they're feeling a little down or anxious about something. Well, wouldn't it be wonderful to pop a few of these in the mail to that person? I mean, wouldn't you love to get something like this in the mail? I know I would. I mean, I just think that the whole Happy Mail thing, to me, it kind of reminds me of when I was young and I had a pen pal. Did anybody here have a pen pal? Oh, that's really pretty. I had a pen pal for a while when I was in about 5th grade. And, oh, I don't remember the person's name anymore, but it was just nice, just getting mail. And we moved around a bit too. We moved, oh my goodness, by the time I went to high school, we had moved, I think I went to 13 different schools. You know, started out, anyway, we moved across states more than once when I was growing up. And so, and even within states. So I always wrote letters to my friends that I had left behind, and they wrote back, and I wish I had some of those letters now. Nobody does anything by mail anymore, which is really sad. So Happy Mail is a great excuse to send something. Okay, I'm going to dry this off and be right back. All right, this one is all dried and I've trimmed the edges on it, and I think I will do a little stenciling on this one as well, but I'm going to use some Wild Honey Distress ink instead of the Chipped Sapphire, because there's already quite a bit of blue. Get something a little bit more contrasting. So that looks kind of pretty. Maybe up in this corner as well. You know, doing this, just using a book page as a base, I mean, how many of us have, you know, how many of us don't have, I guess I should say, 11 million book pages just laying around. I think they're, for most of us anyway, book pages are in pretty abundant supply. Okay, so I'm going to call that stenciling done. And you know, you can even do texture paste if you want to as well. I am not going to do that for this round, but that's something that you could certainly add, either with stenciling or, you know, something similar. Do a little stamping. It actually looks kind of cool. It doesn't really show up a whole lot, but it does enough. You know, you'll probably end up cutting this up a little bit, you know, when you go to use it anyway, so it doesn't even matter which way they go. And then I have this stamp too. It says Paris on it. It's like a label, maybe from soap or something, some sort of toiletry. But I'm just guessing. I can't remember what it is. That looks pretty. Oh, that turned out really good. Let's add a butterfly. How about a dragonfly? Okay, I think I'll call that done. Now, I'm going to try some of this Distress Oxide in Mermaid Lagoon. Shake it up. Then we'll just drip some on. Okay, not bad. And some Wild Honey spray stain. Then I'm going to dry these drips. We're going to drip dry. Okay, I am really happy with the way these two turned out. and I added, well, before I dried it, of course, I added some of the Mermaid Lagoon and Wild Honey, and I didn't put any drips on this one, but I'm just going to leave it this way, and in the future I might use it to decorate a page or to make a pocket, or maybe make an envelope out of it, or anything, but I know that I can do whatever I want with it, and I will keep it in my stash. So I have 4 now, and they were so simple and so easy to make, and just with whatever you have on hand, just really good for scrap busting and using up your book pages. But I am going to use this one right now, so I'll set those aside. What I've got and what I've been working on is my Ephemera journal, and I have this calendar because I really liked this dandelion that's got ice crystals on it. I just think that's really cool. But and it's a calendar that we got in the mail, so it's for this year. But I want to have it on opposite this page with my penguin journal card on here, and I made this belly band with some chindi rug fabric, and I braided some sari silk and sewed that on top and bottom, and I might put some more stuff on the side, but I wanted to have this be opposite that. And I have this these 2 little birds that I have fussy cut out of a book, and I thought they would be super cute on here. They've got some, they're hiding from the snow. They've got this cute little umbrella, and I love umbrellas. And so they're being shielded. They're shielding each other from the snow with this umbrella. And I thought it would be cute to have the snow next to my snowflakes. So I'm going to add, let's take this away. Okay, so whoa, come back here. I'm going to add this, and I will probably have to trim it a little bit. So, and then I'll sew around it, and then we'll add the birds. So I'm just going to use some art glitter glue, and I think I'm going to put it on here instead of on the page, because I know the page is going to be just a little bit bigger than what I've got here. So that's not coming out fast enough for me, so I'm going to use glue stick, and that's okay. It'll be fine because, like I said, I'm going to sew around it. Oops. Let's try that again from this angle. Here we go. So I'm just going to trim it along here, along this edge, because I don't want it sticking out. It'll just be weak if I do that, and prone to tearing, and I'd rather not have that happen in my journal. Okay, I'm going to sew around it, and I shall be right back. Okay, so I've sewn all around it, and now I'm going to take some of this chipped sapphire and just go around the edges of this umbrella so it'll stand out. and even around where the snow is here. Oh, these birds are so cute. This book has the cutest bird pictures in it. I'll show it to you. If you ever see this in a thrift store, it is just full of the cutest pictures. I just love it. Great artwork. Okay, let's get the little birds down here. I'm going to put some glue stick in the middle first, and then go around some of the smaller areas with the art glitter glue if it decides to come out of the bottle. I love this. I love how the colors all go together. And now I have one more spread done in my Defember Ember journal, and I'm so excited. So this envelope that I made, I'm going to sew right into this page. And I might do some more collaging on it too, but for now, I think I'm going to call this part done. I absolutely love it. So I hope you enjoyed this, and you'll consider making some lady boards of your own. Super, super simple. Great way to pass a few minutes and use up some book pages and some other things that you might have, and put in your stash for when you're ready to use them and ready to be even more creative with them. So, and of course you can build these up even more. You know, there's nothing that says you have to leave them this way, but it's a good start and you can have a lot of fun with them. So that's it for today, and thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you liked it, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up, and also I'd love it if you'd subscribe. That really helps my channel, and let the serendipity find you, everybody. I'll see you in my next video. Happy crafting. Bye bye.